is going on, guys? It is the Devil King Lucifer bringing you another COD commentary. If you look down, you'll see that this one is much longer than the last one. Why did I make it longer? Well, it's to tell a very interesting story about my childhood. Yes, well, it's actually my childhood mixed with a little of my high school life. I got the shorter end of the stick on the end of this one, so you'll be happy to know that I'm not all sunflowers and sunshine. I've come from a very, very interesting past, and many stories like these, in fact. But this story is about how I was put into an arranged marriage. Yes, as in, without my consent, I was set to marry somebody when I became of age. So, the way this story started off is that I never really had a close connection with my mother or my father. So, who was next best? My aunt and uncle. Now, my aunt and uncle are from Japan, so at the age of 7 or 8, I was moving to Japan from America. Yes, across the Pacific Ocean. What a long journey it was. Jesus. I remember falling asleep on the plane. But getting into the story, around that time, my guardians were very high up inside of their line of work. They were, you know, very important people. So, inside of their line of work, important people had to know important people, and they knew another couple who they had contact with much longer than I was even alive. And it was a coincidence that they had a daughter who was a year, maybe a year and a half older than me, but we were around the same age. Getting into it, they set up these, they called it play dates. I did quote unquote with my fingers, because they were more seen as actual dates. Like, we went out, we ate, we went to the fair and had fun and stuff like that. And this was like not really seen as a date by many, because we were young. We were just more there for the fun or the free materials than we actually were for getting to know one another. But slowly we actually began to, you know, connect with each other and find out like who each other were. You know, as a kid, how love is not on your mind. Maybe your love for like candy and video games and stuff like that. That kind of stuff happens. But it was awkward because I did find myself liking her, and I was very confused about it because I'm just a kid. But as time grew on, me and her actually found ourselves wanting to date one another. Like, it got into middle school. You know, middle school, how when puberty hits, you start finding yourself attracted to the opposite gender. So I found myself attracted to the opposite gender. I found myself attracted to my engaged fiance, who we're gonna call Akame. Anyways, Akame also grew very, very attached to me, which I did like because, you know, I felt the same towards her. Middle school, if you ever like went to the middle school that we went to, you could say that you never saw us apart from one another. You never saw our hands separate from each other. We literally spent every second together because we were used to each other for so many years. We grew to love each other through all the years. Eventually, it got to the point where it was my last year of middle school, and my mother came back into the picture. Legally, she won custody of me, which I thought was bullshit. Yes, bullshit, because eventually I had to go back to America. I lost my fiance. The contract was actually never void, but I'm gonna get to that later. But she took me back, and I lost the connection to my fiance. At some point, I began to lose my feelings for her. I never forgot her. My memories of her never left, but I began to lose an attraction towards her, and I started dating girls in high school. You know, high school I was an athlete. I played just about every sport there. So, you know, at some point I, you know, started talking to girls again, and I got another girlfriend. Hey, the girl I dated, we're gonna call her Yuki. The girl Yuki I dated for the entire 3 years, all the way to my junior year. And in that junior year, it came to that point where Akame came back into the picture, which was awkward. It was very offsetting. I felt confused because with the return came back a lot of emotions. So not only was I having to deal with two girls I liked, it was dealing with two girls that, you know, I felt a genuine connection to. Now, at first I thought things would work itself out, which was a very stupid idea. You never let nature run its course when it comes to two women who like one guy. That's a serious problem. It got to the point where they were going to exchange blows. I heard it from my best friend that they had confronted each other to the point where a possibility of a fight was going to break out. Now, would you really think a cat fight be that dangerous? Not really. Maybe a little hair pulling, a little scratching, it doesn't hurt anybody. No, these two aren't like that. Back when I was in Japan, me and Akame did kendo. So, you could tell she was very adverse with a weapon, but she was also very, she was very strong in physical, like hand-to-hand combat as well. Now, Yuki, you think she's at a disadvantage? Not really. She did mixed martial arts with me. We trained under my father, who also came back into the picture around the same time as my mother, and he trained me in mixed martial arts, which was cool until this whole situation came up. So I have one who knows kendo and close combat, and I have another one who knows mixed martial arts. She knows boxing and wrestling. So it wasn't going to turn to just a few scratches and maybe a loss of a couple strands of hair. No, it was going to turn to blood and broken bones. Eventually I did get there in time before things officially broke out, which was good. But in the end, I lost Yuki, which was very bad. Like, I liked the girl at the time, you know, she was my love interest, so it kind of stung. But Akame still stuck around. I actually found out that the contract was voided, but even to this day, I still, you know, have some attraction to her. And while it's still awkward for us to get things rolling again, we are still working things out and trying to see if what we had when we were younger is still there. It kind of is for me. I don't know. I can't speak for both of us, but you know, if anything happens, you may see me in a couple years with her instead of one of my videos. Who knows? But the video is wrapping up, guys. I just wanted to do that to introduce like a broad point of my life, so you kind of get a little view of who I was and what went on. If you want to see more stuff like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the army of the Empire. Hit that like button if you did enjoy the video. And this has been the Devil King Lucifer.